in the great state of California. I will become TNA World Champion.
None of those things are going to stop me from winning the TNA World Championship and bringing it back to NXT.
I will walk out still the TNA World Champion because we believe.
TNA Wrestling presents Rebellion this Sunday on pay-per-view.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to TNA Press Pass. I'm your host, Tom Hannafin. Today, I am joined by the man of the moment, the TNA World Champion, Joe Hendry. I want to thank all of the media members from around the world that are joining us today, live across TNA's social and digital platforms for this Press Pass. I want to get to Joe in just a moment. A quick reminder, this Sunday, it is Rebellion live on the campus of USC in Los Angeles on pay-per-view and TNA Plus. You can get your tickets now for that event at TNAWrestling.com. Don't forget, this coming Thursday, Impact is going to be live with a special start time of 10 p.m. Eastern. We'll be in Irvine, California on the campus of UC Irvine for TNA Impact live on AXS TV in the United States, Sportsnet Plus in Canada, and worldwide on TNA Plus. And again, you can get complete ticket information now for our shows in Los Angeles, the greater Los Angeles area, in the next week at TNAWrestling.com, plus all of our upcoming events that will be in Brampton, Ontario, the greater Toronto area, Tempe, Arizona, the greater Phoenix area, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and Long Island, New York. Head to watch.tnawrestling.com and use the promo code Say His Name for one free month of TNA Plus. Joe, enough shilling. Say his name. You have appeared. How you feeling? Have you slept whatsoever?
So the crazy thing is, I'm going to tell you my schedule before WrestleMania, and I'm sitting on this for a week, right? So and there was more, but let's just start from 2 days before our event in Vegas, before Unbreakable. 12-hour media day, 12-hour media day. We had our event. Then I had WrestleCon. Then I had West Side Guns show. Then the next day I had WrestleCon, WWE World. Then there were meetings in the evening. And then on the Sunday, there was WrestleCon. There was WWE World. Finished at WWE World at 3. Went to Wrestle Randy about 5 p.m. or something like that. It was insane. But I'm thankful because it was so crazy, I didn't have time to overthink it. And the amazing thing is, I have no idea how I got a great night's sleep before WrestleMania. And I'd written off the night before. I thought I was going to get no sleep. I got a great night's sleep, and I slept well last night as well. So that's 2 out of 7. I'll take that for now.
Fantastic. Well, I'm happy to hear that. And again, congratulations. It's my first time getting to speak to you since WrestleMania, but congratulations on a WrestleMania moment, not only appearing, but competing against a surefire future Hall of Famer in Randy Orton, representing this company proud. I said it last night on Impact. If you'd have told the people who founded TNA Wrestling 23 years ago that one day the TNA World Champion would compete at WrestleMania, they'd have thought you were absolutely insane. But it's been the power of the people behind you, the fans behind you. I call you a global phenomenon, and it's the truth. You have manifested a lot of these things. So congratulations to you. A huge moment for you individually, especially for the company. I do want to remind all the people joining us around the world from the press, thank you so much, first of all, for joining us. Please digitally raise your hand to ask a question, and then we will get your questions to Joe. So without further ado, let's get to Dominic from One True Sport for Joe Hendry. Dominic?
Can you guys hear me all right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Hey, Joe. Hey, Tom. Tom, congrats on your Penn State Nittany Lions getting drafted in the first round there. Pretty good.
Thank you. It was all me. Yeah.
Enough about Tom. Come on.
Well, Joe, I interviewed you probably about 6 months ago, and one of the questions I happened to ask you was, how do you feel? I asked you if you felt confident about your ability to kind of pivot, if there ever came an opportunity or a time where you felt your persona kind of was not resonating with the fans as well. Now, currently, obviously, it is. But you being at WrestleMania, having this kind of historic weekend for TNA and everything like that, did that give you kind of a new vote of confidence of your ability to do that? And do you feel differently in that kind of realm of, hey, I can make that change if need be, or anything like that moving forward?
Sorry, bro. I'm going to have to cut you off there. That's your words, not mine. If I'm looking around, the last thing that Joe Hendry needs to do right now is pivot. The only pivot Joe Hendry needs to do is the spin in my entrance, my friend. Here's the thing. You do not get selected to wrestle Roman Reigns if you're not at the top level. You do not get hand selected to wrestle Randy Orton in his 20th WrestleMania unless you know what you're doing. Joe Hendry does not need to pivot. This is full steam ahead. This is, look at this, TNA World Champion. We're going to do phenomenal business for TNA Wrestling. That's all we got to worry about. No pivot required. Full steam ahead for TNA Wrestling. And Rebellion is going to be incredible.
Awesome.
Dominic, thank you very much.
You.
We appreciate it. Just a reminder for all the media, we invite you to turn your camera on. We want to see your smiling faces. And again, digitally raise your hand. And we want to keep this to one question each. Please no follow-ups, just that way we get as many questions to Joe as possible during this press pass. We will zip around the world to the United Kingdom, the most read newspaper, the Metro. And we're joined by Alistair. Alistair?
There we go. Hi, Tom and Joe. Good to see you again. How are you doing?
See you again. Good. Quick shout out. The Metro got me through many mornings on the way to school, so we appreciate you. It's a free newspaper you can read on the bus. Unbelievable. Carry on.
Always the professional with the plugs. We'll jump in. At the press conference on Sunday night, Triple H told us there that he told you there will be many more WrestleManias in your future. Obviously, you are representing TNA so proudly. Surely hearing that, though, has got to be exciting, thinking about potential opponents and scenarios in the years ahead too.
Yeah, I've got phenomenal respect for everyone at WWE, for the way that I've been treated and the opportunities that I've been given. It's absolutely unbelievable. And I don't take any of it for granted. I also want to give huge credit to TNA Wrestling Management as well for just making this such a great process. I 100% believe we created a situation on Sunday where TNA won, WWE won, myself and Randy won with the moment that we had, and the fans won as well. And moving forward, I feel like we're doing phenomenal business for both companies. If you go and try and buy a Joe Hendry shirt right now on WWE.com, unless they've restocked in the last 5 minutes, you can't do it. And now we're going to head into Rebellion with all the buzz and hype in the world. So I'm extremely happy because I feel like we're doing phenomenal business for both companies. I'm very honored to be in this position, and what Triple H said meant a lot to me. It really, really did. To hear what he said, to hear what John Cena said on Pat McAfee, to see Daniel Cormier and CM Punk discussing what happened, and also the private conversations backstage as well. I had a lot of great private conversations with a lot of people that I respect, and I feel very fortunate that I'm in a position that I can contribute to this business, and I'm very excited for what we can do for TNA Wrestling, because as I've said before, different title reigns mean different things. This title reign is about big business for TNA Wrestling. That's what we're going to do now. We're going to take everything that just happened at WrestleMania, and we're going to get more people through the door than ever before. TNA has been on a historic run, and we're going to do everything that we can do to continue that. TNA is one of the hottest entities in our business, and we're going to keep it coming.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations again.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alistair. We appreciate it. I think I saw that only smalls were available on www.shop.com for your t-shirts.
They're gone now. They're gone
It'll
now.
fit me, which is great. Yeah.
It's gone.
Coming up next is Jim from the Miami Herald. Jim, are you with us?
Well, I think there's an issue with Jim's video, so we're going to have to go to Lee.
Okay, we'll come back to Jim. Appropriately, we're going to head to Joe's home country, Lee from Alive Radio in Scotland. Lee.
Hi, Tom. Hi, Joe. Firstly, congratulations on your history-making appearance at WrestleMania this past weekend, Joe. Now, as you know, we've talked many times, wrestling features prominently, mostly TNA, on Med in the Morning or Alive 107.3. And what I found this week is listeners, even non-wrestling fans, have been calling, texting, and emailing to say they've been firing up Netflix and watching WrestleMania, not to see John Cena, not to see Roman Reigns, but to see Joe Hendry. These are not wrestling fans. These are normal people. I want to know, how does it feel to be the biggest mainstream crossover since The Rock and the biggest surprise in wrestling since Hogan turning at Bash at the Beach?
I'm incredibly grateful. And I have to reiterate, it takes an army of people to put me in this position. This is not an individual effort. You know, the platform of TNA Wrestling, my amazing colleagues at TNA who have brought me up to this level, you know, even Tom, to put you over, even if I'm doing something like commentary, I'm going to say, Tom, what do you think of this? How could I improve on that next time? I've got people around me who are helping me get better every single day. And none of this happens without my colleagues, without management, without the amazing crew that we have, and without the amazing fans. So I'm fortunate to be the person that is doing these things, but I got to take a moment to shout out my colleagues who are helping put me in this position. It is very surreal. It's surreal to go on WWE.com and struggle to buy one of my t-shirts. It's surreal to go click the top sellers button and filter it by sales and see mine in the mix with other household names. It's honestly surreal. It's really hard to put into words, to be honest with you, because the Rumble was unreal. The way I described it to people was like putting on a VR headset. You know, it just didn't feel real. But wrestling Randy Orton at WrestleMania, that was just it was like a physical wave of energy coming towards me. I will never forget that moment. I'm so grateful that I got to have it. I just realized how rare an opportunity that is. And regardless of what people think about it, I know what I'm doing with this championship. And we know what we're doing as a company, and we're going to continue to do big business. My job as champion is now to continue to bring as many eyeballs to TNA wrestling as possible, and we're excited for the future. If you've ever been to Lee, you've been to many TNA wrestling shows. We saw it. Chicago was the last time I saw you. You know, and a lot of people have known for many years, but the world is finding out person by person how amazing TNA wrestling is, top to bottom. There is something for everyone on our show. And with everything that's going on, Rebellion is the perfect place. If you haven't seen TNA in a while, now's the time. Think about everything that's just happened. Anyone can show up at any time. You wouldn't believe how many WWE wrestlers tell me how excited they are about TNA wrestling. You never know what can happen. Also, in the main event, we've got myself, we've got Frankie Kazarian, and we've got Ethan Page, who I feuded with in NXT. And you know how strong this partnership is. It's gone to another level now. I've just performed at WrestleMania. So let me tell you, anything and everything is possible in this triple threat match. And that's exciting. Pro wrestling is at its best when anything can happen, and TNA is going to give you that this Sunday.
We believe. Thank you, guys. Look forward to seeing you Sunday night.
Thank you, Lee. Appreciate it. Joe, thank you as well. Up next is Bill from WrestleZone. Bill, welcome.
Hey, guys. How are you doing?
Doing well, thanks, Bill. How are you?
So, Joe, I know you said you had about a week where you knew kind of like this was going to happen. I wanted to know if like you had to practice your entrance at all, or if there was any sort of changes as far as like preparation for the match, or, you know, just getting into the arena, because I don't know how well hidden you were or anything like that. Can you walk through how you prepared for it and kind of how you helped keep it a secret until you came out?
This was a military operation. You know how rare it is, Bill, for secrets not to get out in professional wrestling. We weren't even in the betting odds. That is how well this was kept a secret, and I'm extremely proud of that. That's so hard to do in professional wrestling, and that's a testament to TNA wrestling, to WWE, and to my management team as well, who all work together to coordinate everything perfectly. And I just had an amazing experience. You know, I remember there was no run through of the entrance because we couldn't, because people would know. So that shows you how slick WWE's production is and how great the communication is between WWE and TNA, because if you look at that entrance, that looks like that would have taken rehearsal, but no, it was literally I would go stand in position and everything was ready for me. That shows you how amazing the production and the team are at WrestleMania. So that was unbelievable to me, the fact that we didn't have a run through it, and it was that cool with the doors opening and the visual that we had. And, you know, even just little things like when we're waving the hands from side to side and the camera follows you. And if you look at the RKO, Randy is completely out of shot, and then he comes in, and it's, look, people can say whatever they want about it, but Our job was to go and create a moment, and that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what we did. We did exactly what was best for that show at that time, and I'm extremely proud of it. I was very hidden. What happened was, we're again similar to Rumble. I had appearances at WWE World, so it wasn't unusual for me to be there. I was in a tinted vehicle. I changed it into a disguise. I had, I had a hoodie, I had shades, I had the COVID mask, I had everything going on. I was like Inspector Gadget in the back there, right? I got on and then I'm telling you, they've got these little golf carts, and they're fast. They are fast. They had me on the back of one of these things. Boom, straight to a secret room. You're in. No one saw anything. It was a military operation.
Thank you.
They don't mess around when it comes to that stuff.
They do not.
Up next is Whip Dog, host of the Whip and AK show on 106.1 FM WAKT in the home of the Rascals, the Glass City, Toledo, Ohio. Whip Dog, how are you?
Man, first of all, thank you for having me on the show. I appreciate it. Love you, Tom. Joe, love you as well. But Joe, I want to, well, first of all, say this too. I'm in the UK syndicated also, so your people get to hear this, bro. I love it, man. But Joe, I got to talk to you back in Detroit for Bound for Glory. And I talked to you then about, you were going for the title and having all this on your back. Months later, you have officially became the TNA World Champion. You've done the Royal Rumble. You've done WrestleMania. And you still hold TNA every single day. But I want to take you to take the mask off right now. I know it's a lot of pressure, my boy. Seriously, doing all this media that you have to do, doing 2 promotions all the time. Can you handle it? Is it getting too hard for you, Joe? Let these people know, because you got Ethan Page coming up. You got a big show at Rebellion. I want to know. The people want to know.
I like this guy, Ross. Can we make sure that he's in every one of these calls from now on? We need this energy. This guy needs to get involved somehow. I like it. My friend, I appreciate you looking out for me, but there's a couple of things. Is it easy? Of course not. It's extremely difficult, but it's the spot we ask for, and you must embrace everything that comes with that. You've really got 2 choices. If things are hard when you're on the road, you can either go wah, 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 or you can go, you know what? I'm getting the rarest opportunity. I'm going to take all that energy where I go, wah, 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 and I'm instead going to go, you know what? I'm not going to think any negative thoughts about it. I'm just going to execute this to the absolute best of my ability, because you never know how long these things last. You never know when these opportunities come back, and you owe it not just to yourself, but to everybody who would crawl over broken glass to be in that spot, to give it your absolute best. If you can't handle this, you shouldn't be in the spot. So you're damn right I can handle it with a smile on my face.
I love it, man. I love it. Thank you, fellas.
Thank you, Whip Dog. We appreciate it. We're going to head around the world once again. John from Slam Wrestling in Canada. John. There you are, John. I think you're muted at the moment. Sweet D&D shirt. Just got to unmute there.
Can you hear us, John?
There we go.
Yeah, there you go. I believe in you.
Wonders of technology. Joe, thanks so much for taking the time to talk to us today. I got a 2-part question for you. What do you think sets apart TNA from the other promotions these days? And also, what do you think of your opponents, Frankie Kazarian and Ethan Page, facing in that big title match?
I think this is the stakes are extremely high with this matchup. With Frankie and Ethan are my 2 arch rivals in recent years in professional wrestling. So to have to contend with both of them at the same time, for me, it's not ideal. Obviously, I've had this reoccurring rotator issue. I'll be honest, landing from the RKO does not help that situation. So, we're going to see how I feel on Sunday, but I will be there defending the championship, and it is going to be a huge challenge to overcome these 2 opponents. Again, from the perspective of the fans, it's great to watch, because from their eyes, like, absolutely anything can happen. And like I say, I think that is when professional wrestling is at its very best. Can you remind me what the first question was?
Just what do you think sets apart TNA from the other promotions these days?
So TNA, to me, if you look at what modern wrestling is, I think that TNA has very much contributed to the blueprint of what that is. If you go back and look at TNA in 2002, 2003, you see a huge influence on all of modern wrestling. So I think that TNA not only has the history and the heritage, but it also has I think that wrestling is at its best when it's like a variety show. And to me, TNA excels in each division. I think that's what I really like about TNA is the distinct divisions. I'm excited to see what Steve Macklin does with his international championship as well. As I've said before, the Digital Media Championship was extremely fun. It was great for people like myself, for Matt Cardona, for Jordan to do something a little bit different with a title. But I think we needed that, our version of like the Intercontinental Championship. So I think that the International Championship, I'm excited to see what happens with that. So to answer your question, I like what each distinct division brings. And I think that there is something for everyone when you watch TNA wrestling, regardless of who you are, whether you're a wrestling fan or not. If you get along to a show, you are going to be entertained.
Well, thank you very much, Joe and Tom, for this opportunity. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you, John. We're heading back to the UK. We're going to tune in with another John. After John. Owen from Reach PLC's Atomic Drop in the UK. Owen?
Hi there. How are you doing, Joe?
Doing well, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Yeah, obviously it's been quite the 18 months for you. I think originally when we spoke, you were going to be performing. It was Turning Point at the Walkabout Home, so that was quite a sort of a big 18 months that you've had in that time. And yeah, I mean it's just really to ask to do with if obviously speaking on behalf of UK fans here. What did you think about kind of the really strong UK and Irish contingent at WrestleMania? I mean, there's a lot of big names performing alongside you, especially on that Sunday card. And I mean, seeing that obviously being from the UK yourself, I mean, did you feel a sense of pride at seeing kind of people from our side of the pond doing as well as they are?
Absolutely. The people, unless you're in the UK, people don't understand how good the UK scene is and the quality of the talent that is in the UK. It's just so difficult for British professional wrestlers to get a visa and to get the ball rolling in America. But if you're a wrestling fan, like the standard of independent shows in the UK is unbelievable. Yes, it was amazing to see a lot of my colleagues from the UK, but someone I want to give out a shout out to right now is someone called Dries, who we've had on our shows. I really think this guy has something. I think I have a feeling that if we open the door for him a little bit, he's going to kick it down. So if TNA, if you're listening, we got to give this guy a shot here.
Thank you, Owen. We appreciate it. Man like Dries made his TNA debut on Explosion recently. You can watch that on demand on TNA Plus.
You got to give him another one. One more.
Absolutely. Coming up next is Wrestle India's Ayush. Ayush, are you with us?
Hey, Joe. Hi, Tom. How are you doing?
Doing great.
Hello, my friend. How are you?
Firstly, it's an honor. It's a privilege. I think I'm the first ever content creator as a media guy here promoting India. Wrestling is huge in India. I'm based in Canada right now. And I would like to congratulate Joe. 2014, he was in the ring with Rusev and Lana. He was standing there delivering a promo. No one knew who Joe Hendry was. He made his NXT debut last year. He's the TNA champion. He went face-to-face with the tribal chief Roman Reigns, Royal Rumble. And now he was in the ring at WrestleMania with Randy Orton. That's an insane journey. So firstly, the entire world can now testify to the fact that we believe in Joe Hendry. And this train is just starting, right? It's just at the first stop. So I'll ask you two questions if you don't mind. First would be, what's your dream match? What's that list look like when Joe Hendry looks at the best opponents? And the second would be, you were in the ring in NXT with Oba Femi on NXT. So you already said you will take the workload with a smile on your face. So is there any plans for Joe Hendry to have another title on the other shoulder as well?
I like that. I like that. That was probably three questions. We're going to let you off, but I'll do my best to answer them all. But thank you for the kind words, my friend. So first of all, Trick and Oba are at the top of the tree in NXT, and that's why I went out and inserted myself into that situation, because I have to be honest, this shoulder is growing, because this is a heavy title, and I'm walking around with this all day. The muscle's building here, and this shoulder feels a little bit left out. So you know what? I think the NXT championship would look pretty good there. No official plans or anything like that yet, but look, who doesn't want to be the NXT champion? Come on, obviously. So that's why I appeared on NXT, just to insert myself into the mix. And you know what? We'll see what happens. That's the amazing thing about this, is anything can happen at any time. Now, with regards to dream matches, I've said this many times. People know that the match that I'm shooting for is against John Cena.
Wow.
That is my dream match. The Rock is the reason I got into the business. There's a promo that I did for What Culture in 2017 that I haven't brought up in a long time, where I actually called out The Rock. So if you want to go and see that, that's pretty interesting. That's two. Chris Jericho is another name that I'd like to add to that list. I've had some of my dream matches. I've wrestled Kurt Angle, I've wrestled Randy Orton, I've wrestled Roman Reigns. I'm very fortunate to have wrestled some of the absolute best that I've ever laced up a pair of boots. And not only that, we have some of the best wrestlers in the world in our TNA locker room that I've had the chance to share the ring with as well. So it's just, I'm very fortunate right now. I'm getting to not only live my dream, but wrestle the absolute best in the world as well. I'm going to give you another dream match, one I've already had, but another one that I want to have again, and that is Leon Slater. And the reason that's a dream match for me is because I think he is going to be the next AJ Styles. I think he is going to be the next guy. I think he's going to win this one day and hold it for a long time. So I would like to, I've faced him once before. I'd like to face him at least a couple more times. Very excited to see what happens with the trajectory of his career. Huge signing for TNA Wrestling. Casey Navarro is someone as well that you should keep an eye on. We've got so much talent in the back, but I just want to shout out those two guys right now.
All right, thank you for your answer, and I hope that whoever's listening, make John Cena versus Joe Hendry happen. We only got this here.
Thank you, Ayush. Appreciate it. I will kindly remind the press, please keep it to one question with no follow-ups. Turn your video on, please, and raise your hand digitally so we can get as many questions in as possible to Joe today. Coming up next, we're heading to Italy. Luca from Culture Pop Italia. Luca?
Hi guys, hi Tom, hi Joe. Joe, congrats on your amazing run as champion. How does it feel to be the face, the true workhorse of TNA, and one message you want to give to the Italian fans? Because you have a huge fan base in Italy. Italy believes in Joe Hendry.
Yeah, thank you, Luca. I've loved the time that I've spent in Italy. I've been there twice now, and I had a lot of fun there. Absolutely love Italy. Can't wait to get back there. Big fan of Milan. That was great. So yeah, anytime that we go to Europe, it's crazy. Like I ran my own show in Germany. It sold out. I'd love to do the same in Italy. I'd love to get TNA wrestling over to Europe. The fan base is so ready for it. So I want to say a huge thank you to the fans in Italy. Absolutely love your country. I could see myself, get a little, maybe one day, get a little holiday home there. Absolutely love Italy. So I just want to say thank you to the support from the European fans, because there was a time where, things were tough for me in the UK. There wasn't, a whole lot of shows running, and doing shows in Germany and Italy and Poland and Romania and so on and so forth. It really helped me keep my buzz going and get me to where I am today. So huge thank you to the European fans.
Thank you. Congrats on your match on Rebellion. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Luca. We appreciate it. Next, we're heading to France. Stephanie from 3W Wrestling and Last Word on Sports. Stephanie?
Hi.
Hi, Stephanie.
How are
Good to see
you,
you again.
Tom?
Wonderful. Thank you very
A special question for you. What would you say to the people who claim that they don't believe in Joe Hendry? Thank you.
Thank you, Steph. Interesting question. I would say it's okay to be wrong. I would say it's okay. It's okay. I think that's the wonderful thing about wrestling, is if you don't like Joe Hendry, who do you like? And here's my thing. If every single person likes what you do, then you're not really doing anything different. So actually and this goes out to all other wrestlers, a lot of wrestlers, have the boo-boo face about like, oh, this person said this negative thing about me. But if you're really smart, you realize if you divide opinion it gives this exponential growth to all of your social media posts. So the more people are talking about you, good or bad, that actually helps promote yourself and what you're doing. But I'm happy to say I feel that the support for me is overwhelmingly positive. Of course, there's some people that don't like it, but then they can go out and buy a Frankie Kazarian t-shirt if they want to do that. That's the wonderful thing about TNA wrestling. You come along, you support who you want, and it's okay to be wrong.
Sorry, but I feel I'm one of the people who is right. I am saying it, but don't think I try to be wrong. I mostly want to allow every people to find the good and the bad in everything and in everyone. And I love when people tell me, why don't you believe in Joe Hendry? It's not against you. It's just that we all have our favorite wrestlers. And I want people to be aware of that.
That's totally fair, Steph. You're breaking up there. We're going to have to let you go. I think
we have known each other for a long time, so I'm like that. Thank you. Good night, guys.
Thank you, Stephanie. We appreciate it. Up next, I
think she was saying she was a big Joe Hendry fan. That's what I took.
I think, yes, I got a little garbled there, unfortunately, but who doesn't believe? Well, Sean Merriman told us at Unbreakable that he just does not believe in you, but we knew that from Rebellion.
Well, he's a piece of trash, so.
Yeah. The Chargers never win anything anyway. Up next is Carlos from Carlos Fight Talk.
Hey, how you doing, Joe? Good to see you. Thank you to TNA Wrestling for allowing me to be on this program. And do you hear me good?
We got you.
Sounds good. I remember interviewing you back in San Antonio, Texas, before the live show. From I think it was 10 years, since the live show. But it's a big honor to have you back on the channel and to be join in your spot, Thank you for being my champion. And one question, how do you keep it, all secured in all this memorable moments that you're doing right now? How do you make it secured?
When you say secure, do you mean hanging on to the championship or keep it holding the memories, or what do you mean by secure?
Just to stay relevant in your mind and keeping everything going.
Okay. That's an interesting question. I think that as you progress through professional wrestling, there's more pressure on your shoulders. There's more praise, there's more criticism, there's a lot of voices. It is a process. It takes a while to be okay with thousands of people saying one thing and thousands of people saying a different thing. It takes a long time to be okay with that. But my advice to anybody would be just to move forward with the best of intentions and to do the absolute best job that you can. And whatever spot that you're given, if you genuinely within yourself do the best, to give the best that you can give, to go to the best of your ability. Like, so for example, if I'm, like in the spot I was in WrestleMania, what's the best moment that we can do that's going to get the most eyeballs, that's going to not only be a great moment for the live fans and people watching the show, but also is going to translate into great business for TNA. That I personally felt the moment that we had delivered that. Again, if you're doing media, try and answer the questions in the best way that you can. If you're doing a promo, give it your best. Everything that you have, just one by one, tackle it day by day and give your best. That way, no matter what people say, if you give your best and you are authentically yourself, that's really all you can do. And that's how you move forward.
Thanks, bro. I can't wait to see you Sunday, pay-per-view live.
We'll see you there, man.
Thank you, Carlos. We appreciate it. Yes, Rebellion this Sunday, live pay-per-view and TNA Plus in Los Angeles. If you can join us, get your tickets at tnawrestling.com. Up next is Kelvin from BCP. Kelvin?
Hey, good afternoon, guys. Thank you for the time.
Kelvin.
And Joe, congrats on being the first TNA champion to be in both the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania. Going forward, how much did you take and bring? What are you bringing to this match at Rebellion? You saw two great triple threat matches at WrestleMania. just interested to see what motivated you watching those two matches that you could bring into this Rebellion match.
I feel that the story going into this match is its strong point because, like I say, myself and Kazarian have had issues for well over a year now that are unresolved. I've had issues with Ethan Page that go all the way back again about a year when I was in NXT. So for me, there's those stories, and there's the story between Frankie and Ethan as well. And the fact that Ethan, who was NXT champion, has come over shows you how valuable the TNA World Championship is. So to me, we're in a situation where there's a lot of stories crossing over. There's a lot of different directions that we can go in right now. And for me, my job is to win. Don't get me wrong. WrestleMania was a lot of fun. Am I disappointed that I lost? Of course. No, like the champion wants to win and to hold the title high. So for me personally, I have to win this Sunday. That is my goal.
Love the answer. Thank you guys for the time.
Thank you, Kelvin. Next is John of the Two Man Power Trip podcast. I love that name. John?
Hey, Tom, Abdul Carter is the man. I can't wait till he gets on the Giants.
You guys are going to love him in New York. Yeah.
Joe, I'm just curious because, there's a lot of negativity, not only in wrestling media, but also the fans sometimes. How do you deal with some of the negativity? Because your WrestleMania appearance, to me, home run, no doubt about it, home run shot, Babe Ruth style, the entrance, the pop, everything. How do you deal with some of the negativity of people saying, "Oh, Joe should have did this at WrestleMania, or he should have went over WrestleMania over Randy Orton, one of the greatest of all something"? How do you deal with like the negativity of the WrestleMania appearance?
Look, if John Cena tells me I did a good job, then I'm going to go ahead and say that I did a good job, and I'm going to use John Cena's advice as well. Is even when the crowd are split, you must pay attention to the metrics. And the immediate metric that we have is, like I say, unless they've restocked it while I've been on this call, you cannot buy a Joe Hendry t-shirt on WWE.com. Like that's a metric that I pay attention to. I look at the amount of video clips that are going out of that moment of me and Randy. If that wasn't an iconic moment, WWE and TNA wouldn't be putting it out multiple times a day. That just tells you that's the kind of moment that it was. And we're going to find out this Sunday when we see how that translates into Rebellion. The hype for Rebellion is going to be unbelievable. And I'm telling you, people, I warn people about things. I tell them, I say, listen, I'm telling you now, I'm giving you the advance warning. Don't miss this. Don't miss this event. If you're nearby, go along. Make sure that you have TNA Plus to watch this thing. I'm giving you warning. Exciting things are going to happen on this pay-per-view. Do not miss it.
Might have got pop of the night too, by the way. Night two. If you go back and watch, you might have got the loudest reaction of all night. So you can't knock that.
I do think they had a decibel meter, so I'll need to look back and see what the stats were. It's all about the metrics.
Thank you.
Thank you, John. We appreciate it. TNA is huge in the United Kingdom, but TNA is also huge in Ireland. We have some of their media joining us. First is Jim from RCB Sports Radio in Ireland, and allow me to say Slánseacha Fada Sale and Boston Aaron.
Conistata too. Tá mé go ba. Joe, first of all, congrats on all the success. And I suppose the crossover has led to some really interesting matches. And wrestlers, they all love a great feud. What really makes wrestling is a great feud. And at the moment, we have TNA's champion, his current era. And also we have the possibility of TNA's legend, TNA's previous era. What would you say to the possibility of a feud between Joe Hendry and AJ Styles in terms of TNA's past and TNA's future?
I think I'll say this. I think we're past the point where we're saying that something involving Joe Hendry can't happen. I think we're done now. We are done with that conversation. I just wrestled Randy Orton at WrestleMania in a featured match for his 20th WrestleMania. Nothing is off the table. And people want to face the TNA World Champion. Me and AJ had a great moment backstage. The cameras were filming, and we spoke about the significance of the TNA World Championship appearing at WrestleMania. I really hope that footage sees the light of day. And if you see that footage, it's hard not to get excited about Joe Hendry and AJ Styles crossing paths. Ultimately, if enough people say his name, you know how the rest goes.
We definitely want to see it, Joe. Thanks, Emil.
Thank you.
Up next is we're going to stay in Ireland. Maurice from Cheap Heat Productions, Ireland. Maurice. Maurice, do we have you? We'll see if we can land Maurice here.
I believe in Joe Hendry.
Oh, there we go.
There we go. Yeah,
Hello,
I'm here.
Oh, this
guy
is
is a
amazing.
massive Joe Hendry fan. He
Who's
just wants
this?
to say hello to you, Joe.
I believe in Joe Hendry.
And who's this?
This is Evan from Ireland.
Evan, was that?
Evan, yeah.
Oh, Evan. I do apologize. Hello, Evan.
Yeah.
We got
I
a
have
wave?
one question.
Hey,
Give him a wave.
I'm going to stop you right there. I'm going to ask the question first. Can you do the hand clap with me? I believe in Joe Hendry. There we go. Perfect.
Yeah.
Please carry on.
Joe, I said I'll ask you a question that's nothing got to do with wrestling at all. There was a wild rumor around the end of last year that you were going to enter the Eurovision. Was there any truth to that or any truth to that process? And have you any projects lined up outside the wrestling world?
All right. I'm going to tell you there's some controversy surrounding this one. So I've never spoken about this. I did receive a reply from the BBC the people are not going to like it. The people are not going to like it. I put it this way. I tried to enter Eurovision. I was told it was not possible. I will reveal the details of that a different day. I also asked about being able to do it in future. It does not seem like I don't want to be misquoted, so I need to go back and look at the original communication, but it did not seem like they wanted my song to be up for consideration for that Eurovision or a future one. I will get the official communication and I will put it out so there's no stone left unturned. I don't want to be misquoted, but we were told we were not able to enter, unfortunately. Because if I was able, we'd win the whole damn thing.
Yeah, their loss.
Their loss. Thank you, my friend.
Thanks, Joe. Thanks, Tom.
Thank you so much. It was absolutely adorable there. Up next, the Scottish wrestling scene has supported Joe from day one. So we have Billy from the Scottish Wrestling Network blog and website. Welcome, Billy.
Hello. How can I top that? It's like there's a child. So Joe, I have been obviously on the Joe Hendry train since 2013, the local hero days. I was there, and here we are in 2025. Incredible. We are so proud of you, not just myself, but Scotland as well. Just want to mention, like you mentioned Leon Slater, I was there for that match at Discovery. Incredible. And the fact that you've undersold selling out in Germany because it was on a Wednesday night, midweek in Germany. Discovery Wrestling sold out. So just like, I know you've got big things going, but don't undersell everything. I just want to say though, you mentioned John Cena, speaking to him and talking about the metrics. Has there been any more advice and unexpected advice, perhaps, that has just changed your direction that you didn't expect to come around?
I wouldn't say there's anything that's changed. I think what surprised me is how much I clicked with the top talents backstage that I've been working with. I was really surprised and delighted with how many of my suggestions were considered, and it just felt like a really collaborative process. And that was awesome. I just felt like people were really excited for TNA wrestling to be involved. It was so cool to see the championship at a WrestleMania. I was just so pleased with the whole experience and how approachable everybody was and how nice everybody is. And again, I spoke about this at the Rumble, but it really means a lot to me when Triple H takes a moment to talk to me before I go through the curtain, because I feel like he is not only excited for the partnership, but he's also excited for me as an individual. And I feel like when he tells me something, you know, he said it in the post event press conference. He said that's exactly what he said to me before I went out, and he knows when he's telling me those things, the weight of those comments and how much it's going to mean to me. So I really appreciate Triple H and many others taking time out of their day to just tell me what I need to hear in that moment.
Perfect. Well, I can't wait to see what you do next. I'm sure there's going to be, like I say, more WrestleManias to come.
Thank you, Billy.
Thank you, Billy. Up next is Adam from Hitting the Turnbuckle. Adam.
Hi, Joe. Hi, Tom. Joe, just a quick one. Look, we obviously in the UK, we remember TNA used to be on Challenge TV, and you know, it's been in the wrestling channel, yeah, and Challenge TV and the wrestling channel, correct. But look, the resurgence over this last 4 years has been fantastic, and you've been a major part of it, and it's been so good as a TNA fan like myself to see all of this. But I suppose my question is going to contain you needing a crystal ball a little bit. But into like the next 2 to 3 years, what would you like to see TNA branch out to in order to take that sort of next step of that resurgence, so to speak?
I think that we're in a critical period for TNA where things could just grow to another level. If you look at where TNA is now to even, you know, 5 years ago, the growth is just phenomenal. It's unbelievable. Like, to be honest, thousands of people every night is the norm for us now. And to me, the UBS arena is a real benchmark for us. So I think that type of arena, that's serious business. That's, if we can sell out the UBS arena, that is a huge moment for any wrestling company in the world. So when we do that, I think, and I say when we do that, I feel like the floodgates open. And I think that the momentum that we have up to that event is extremely important as well. So I think that we've just been on such a phenomenal run with the shows recently. I'm super excited to be back on the West Coast. I'm super excited to see how we're going to do at Rebellion. And also, let's not forget the TV tapings that we have in Irvine as well on the 1st and 2nd. And people, it's my birthday on the 1st. So if you think we're not going to do something special on the episode, I mean, come on, do not miss out, people. But all jokes aside, I think TNA I think we're going all the way.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks, Tom. Thanks, Joe. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Adam. A reminder, tickets for Slammiversary on Sunday, July 20th at the UBS Arena, the home of the NHL's Long Islanders, New York Islanders, that is, on Long Island. Those are available now at TNAWrestling.com. Up next is Brian from PW Torch. Brian?
Hey, guys. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Brian.
All right. Thanks for the time, Tom and Joe. Joe, you're doing obviously really well for yourself right now in wrestling in TNA. I wanted to ask, as being a champion and now, a leader for future generations, what in the industry would you like to change to address to set up young talent to be successful in the future moving forward, whether they sign, a TNA or WWE? Would you like to see something set in place, something similar to like the NBA and NFL? Tom, you've been talking about the NFL. They generally have seminars to set up, bring in new talent to teach them life skills about money management. Are there other opportunities outside of the industry, whether they be movies, writings, where can I find an agent? Just because there's so much uncertainty when, somebody comes in, TNA could be really interested in someone like a Leon Slater. They sign this big TV, contract and they have all this money. They don't know what to do with it. Like, would you like to see something like that in the future of wrestling?
So for me, Leon is actually an interesting example, because if anybody that knows Leon, they say, wow, what an unbelievable talent at 20 years old, but also unbelievably mature as well. That's somebody who has their head on their shoulders and who is wise well beyond his years. I'm not worried about Leon. I know Leon is going to be hugely successful and he's going to do everything the right way, because he has a ton of people in the locker room, myself included, looking out for him at all times. And that's what we have at TNA Wrestling. It is a family. People can go to anyone at any time for advice. Give you an example. It was Eric Young that helped me kind of develop, a move set that people could get more involved with and would get me more over in matches. You know, I worked a lot with Ace Steel. Sammy Callahan came up with the stomp stomp clap that I do in the matches. You know, Moose taught me how to have pay-per-view matches. Eddie Edwards taught me how to get myself over like at the start of matches. You know, it's like we have such a supportive locker room environment that there's someone to go to for anything really. And that's what I'm super proud of with TNA wrestling. And you know, there's an expert for everything where we are. Like I just said, you know, if I need to know something about how to conduct myself better on commentary, I'm going to go to Tom. I would like to think if somebody had questions about how to get themselves over or how to create a buzz on social media or how to be in this position, they're going to come to me. There's so many people who are willing to give time to people who want to learn. So right now, I think we've got a great system. But yeah, I think that, you know, our leadership that we have at TNA wrestling right now is phenomenal. I think management are doing a phenomenal job, and they've got a ton of great ideas as well about how to further the industry. They've got great ideas, and again, not even from a wrestling perspective, but from a sports perspective. I'm really excited. It's been exciting to see that sort of sports influence come in with new management as well. So I think we're in a great spot. I think the industry is in a great spot, and it's a great time to be in the industry and a great time to be a fan.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Brian. Up next, we're going to Scott from the Turnbuckle Times. Scott.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hey, how are you doing? The last time I spoke with you, Joe, you weren't the TNA World Champion. A lot has changed since then. What does it mean to you to now be representing the company on a big scale like you did at WrestleMania and just kind of be the top of the mountain now at TNA?
It's a huge responsibility, and but something I'm extremely proud of. Like I say, I'm fortunate enough to be the person in this position, but as I said, it's taken an army of people to put me in this position. So my goal is to try and translate as much business as I can for TNA wrestling from the increased attention that we have. I had to make a choice. TNA made a choice. WWE made a choice. We all made a choice to do this. And I think that we've done it in a way that benefits everybody. So now the onus is on me to get as many eyeballs as possible to TNA wrestling.
Thank you. And I appreciate your time. And I wish you a lot of luck this Sunday at Rebellion. It's going to be a great show.
Thanks, Scott.
Thank you. Take care.
Thank you, Scott. Up next is Hope from Pro Wrestling Post. Hope? I believe you're muted. There you go. There you go. Welcome.
This is so exciting. No, thank you. Hello, champ. Congratulations on your tremendous success, having that huge mega pop. Without question, you had one of the pops of the night at WrestleMania. And I apologize in advance because I'm going to kind of put you on the spot here. I have to ask, what are you most proud of? Being TNA champion or stepping out on the grandest stage of them all, WrestleMania? Because we all know there are people who wrestle all of their lives, win championships, what have you, but still never make it to that stage.
You cannot separate the two. I'm very sorry. I'm proud of the moment. There you go. Stepping out as TNA champion. Listen, when I won the TNA championship, I had my parents in the audience, and that's incredible to have that and share that moment with them. And then to be able to walk out at WrestleMania with the championship. I'm sorry, Hope. It's just the way it is. I can't separate the two. I'm proud of walking out at WrestleMania as the TNA World Champion. You can't separate the two.
That's all right. That's a blessing. Thank you so much for answering, and good luck. Well, you don't need it. I believe in you.
Thank you.
Thank you for taking my question.
Thank you, Hope. We appreciate it. Up next is Kevin from Nerdly in the United Kingdom. Kevin?
Hello. First of all, massive congratulations on WrestleMania, and obviously Rebellion just around the corner against two amazing competitors, Kazarian and Page. But with all the new eyeballs that will be on TNA and will be on Rebellion, hopefully after WrestleMania, and bringing a whole whole bunch of people over. Is it time to maybe break out a new Joe Hendry song to go along with this matchup about Kazarian, about Page, and with Elias now being on the roster? Maybe a duet?
Kevin, let me tell you, I've been on 4 TV shows this week. 4. I got to hit the gym. I got to do laundry. I'm not going to be able to go to the studio this time. So you'll have to just listen to the classics for a little while. I do have plans to put out an album. I do want to do that this year. It's just crazier and crazier things keep happening. So sometimes you just have to roll with the opportunities that are in front of you. When I do get a little bit of downtime, I will produce that album.
Well, I don't know if this makes me believe less, Joe.
To be fair, you just did a duet with Elijah a few weeks ago on Impact. You can watch it back on TNA Plus.
There's like 100 on YouTube.
Yeah. I want a Kazarian Page triple threat song. Come on.
Maybe one day. We appreciate it, Kevin. Thank you very much. Thanks. Oh, man. Coming up next is Lee from Wrestling Life, and I want to point out people should definitely check out the interview that our own Eric Young did with Wrestling Life. Just published it not too long ago. It's a really deep dive into Eric's life in and out of the ring. Of course, Eric Young is challenging Steve Macklin for the TNA International Championship this Sunday in Los Angeles, live at Rebellion. With that, here is Lee from Wrestling Life. Whole setup.
Hi there. So I don't know where. Can you hear?
He is.
Can you see me?
We cannot see you yet. I can hear you.
I can hear you.
Not sure what's going on there. Here we go. Start my video. There we go. Tom, thanks so much for the plug there. That's very much appreciated. Great stuff. And Joe, congratulations on your Topps trading card. That's quite special. That's amazing. What I wanted to ask you, Joe, was a lot of British wrestlers today talk about how they were inspired to follow their dreams when they saw Davey Boy Smith in the 90s. But now, aspiring British wrestlers are going to be looking at you as their inspiration, I feel.
You know what? I've never actually thought of that, but that is it. Yeah, that is insane. That just having to think about that. That's wild. Sorry, carry on.
It is insane, but it's true now. They are going to be looking at you. And so my question is, those people that you're inspiring now, so these aspiring wrestlers in the UK that want to one day crack America, become TNA World Champion, what's your advice to young British wrestlers today? How can they succeed and follow in your footsteps?
So my advice is to embrace your other interests as well as professional wrestling, especially like if you are young, right? Like Leon Slater is one of one. Right, he's in a unique situation where he is like just unbelievably talented. Not everybody is going to be able to emulate that. A lot of other people, like myself included, you will have to look to your other interests about things that make you unique. So, for example, for me, it was the music. If I just focused on wrestling, I wouldn't have had that to elevate me to the next level. I also did. I got my black belt in judo. I won some championships in amateur wrestling as well. That gave me different elements to what I was doing and life experience as well. So I would say don't neglect your other interests. Obviously, there comes a time where you have to have singular focus, but have other, don't shy away from your other talents as well, would be my advice. My other piece of advice would be that wrestling didn't really kick off for me until I earned a decent amount of money outside of wrestling. I was a full-time wrestler for a long time. It was extremely stressful, and you just get to an age where you're like, nah, enough's enough. So develop a high-value skill that pays you a decent amount of money per hour. So come rain or shine with your professional wrestling, your bills are going to be paid. And what that means is you can make long-term decisions in professional wrestling instead of, okay, I'm going to ignore this really hot promotion to go and do this money gig because rent needs paid. So I would say embrace your other interests and develop your ability to have a high value skill.
I think that's very good advice. Thanks, Joe, and best of luck on Sunday at Rebellion.
Thank you, Lee.
Thank you, Lee. We are set for our final question here. I want to apologize to any members of the media who joined us and didn't get the chance to ask a question. I do want to thank all of you who have joined us from literally all over the world to speak with Joe Hendry. Joe, as you can imagine, has an extremely tight, packed schedule. So we have one last question for him here. This one comes from Sam from WrestleSphere and SoundSphere. Sam?
Hi guys, nice to see you. I'd just love to know, Joe. I'll keep this nice and quick because it's the last question. But in your opinion, now, how likely is a joint TNA WWE PLE?
It's impossible to say. It's absolutely impossible to say. That is not something I have any knowledge of. All I can speak on is say that I would love to see it. You know, I think a lot of the fans would love to see, particularly. You know, I think they'd really love to see TNA and NXT clash. So if we could do that at a joint PLE, that would be very exciting. Again, that's something I have no knowledge of. Just I think it would be exciting. I've heard a lot of fans bring it up. So I think that would be very cool indeed. Just my opinion. But yeah, that would be very cool. And we're in an era where anything can happen, which is why wrestling is so amazing right now.
Exactly. Well, in that case, mate, the last thing I'm going to say is we believe.
Thank you, Sam.
No worries.
Thank you very much, Sam. Again, thank you to every member of the media that joined us here for Press Pass. Joe, especially thank you for joining us. I know you've been very busy, a lot happening for you, the TNA World Champion, and best of luck this Sunday at Rebellion live in Los Angeles. Try and get a little bit of sleep, Joe.
A little bit more. Yeah, well, a few more hours. Thank you, Tom. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us on TNA Press Pass.
In the great state of California, I will become TNA World Champion. None of those things are going to stop me from winning the TNA World Championship and bringing it back to NXT. I will walk out still the TNA World Champion because we believe.
TNA Wrestling presents Rebellion this Sunday on pay-per-view.